Hi all. In this session, we will discuss about curriculum meaning and definitions. So this presentation deals with the various meanings that we are providing to the concept of curriculum, as well as some of the very famous and comprehensive definitions based on different approaches to curriculum. First of all, let us see some meanings. What is meant by curriculum? So mainly curriculum has been perceived as content. It's a body, a set of topics, concepts, ideas, etc. So in any way, curriculum as content is a common meaning that we assign to curriculum. Hence, curriculum is perceived as syllabus. That's why any change in curriculum is in effect limited to changing syllabus. So changing syllabus means changing some content, adding or deleting or modifying contents. That's why the meaning of curriculum is limited as curriculum as content. And we are following a textbook oriented system of education, and as a result of the so-called curriculum revisions, we are changing textbooks. So another meaning of curriculum is that curriculum as textbooks, because with every change in curriculum we are having set of new textbooks, prescribed textbooks. And in another meaning, curriculum is that which we receive from an institution as and when we are enrolling for a particular course or program in an institution. So the curriculum is provided by an institution, or institution based is curriculum. That's another meaning. And though the institution provide us something as curriculum, the actual decision is taken by teacher. What shall be transacted in the class, what shall be discussed in the class, what shall be presented in the class, all these things are decided by the teacher. So it is heavily dependent on teacher, and the meaning we can give curriculum as what the teacher decides. Then curriculum as classroom instruction. It is narrower than the teacher decisions, because teacher may decide on various aspects, not only instruction, various other inputs as well as discussion, debates, assessments, objectives, all those things. So curriculum may be, or most of the time, in a prescribed system or a textbook oriented system, the curriculum is restricted to classroom instruction. So whatever curricular revisions we are making, in effect, what is happening in the class, that is the curriculum. So that classroom instruction can be another meaning of curriculum. So what actually happening in classrooms when teacher and learners are engaged with some textual material, textbooks within the class. So these are some of the different meanings of curriculum. Curriculum in different perspectives, but the common perception about curriculum by teachers, learners, curriculum designers, and the common public. So let us pass on to some of the famous definitions. So we can begin by the very famous definition by Franklin Bobbitt in 1918. According to Bobbitt, curriculum is that series of things which children and youth must do and experience by way of developing abilities to do the things well that make up the affairs of adult life, and to be in all respects what adult should be. So that's the definition given by Bobbitt in 1918, almost a century, more than a century ago. And in that definition, it is clearly given that it is not only for children, but also for youth, but for preparing them for an adult life in all it means. So all those abilities required for a successful adult life. So that is curriculum according to Bobbitt. Not specified any particular duration, program, institution, nothing like that. Only do and experience by way of developing abilities. So certain abilities are required, and all those abilities shall be essential for a successful adult life. Then Ralph Taylor in 1957. So he is a proponent of product approach to curriculum. The product of curriculum is more important. And according to Taylor, the curriculum is all of the learning of students which is planned by and directed by the school to attain its educational goals. So Taylor's definition is very specific because it is goal oriented, because his theory, his product theory, curriculum to realize a set of products or a specific product. So educational goals. So in order to attain that educational goals, it is planned and directed by the school. So it is institution directed. So the learning of students is a planned activity and which is actualized by the institutions to attain a set of educational goals. Then Hilda Taba, 1962, a successor of Taylor, she described the view of Taylor in detail, and in her definition, all curricula, no matter what their particular design, or composed of certain elements. So whatever be the design of the curriculum, there shall be some essential elements in a curriculum. Usually contains a statement of aims, specific objectives, and it indicates some selection and organization of content. It either implies or manifests certain patterns of learning and teaching, whether because the objectives demand them or because the content organization requires them. Finally, it includes a program of evaluation of the outcomes. So Taba described or detailed the product approach. So in a curriculum which can follow any type of design, but it must have certain mandatory elements such as aims and specific objectives, selection and organization of content, then selection and organization of learning teaching materials, as well as evaluation program. So the different phases shall be clearly stated in a curriculum according to Hilda Tab. Then Lawrence Stenhouse in 1975. The definition provided by Stenhouse on curriculum is a best example of a neutral statement or a neutral definition of curriculum. Is an attempt to communicate the essential principles and features of an educational proposal in such a form that it is open to critical scrutiny and capable of effective translation into practice. So that's the definition provided by Stenhouse. From the statement, it is clear that it is highly neutral, impartial. No stress to any particular institution, objective or final outcomes. Nothing like that. It is an attempt to communicate. The definition begins in such a way. It's an attempt. We are not sure whether it will succeed or not. So attempt to communicate the essential principles and features of an educational proposal. So it is a proposal. So through curriculum we are trying to communicate some principles and features of an education in such a form that it is open. And this proposal is fully transparent because it is not fully finalized, not rigid. It is open so that you can contribute it into by critical scrutiny. You can analyze it. We can add upon, you can debate on it. You can analyze and fragmentize. Take each and every fragments of the proposal. You can rearrange, delete, you can add, modify, everything you can do. And it shall be capable of effective translation into practice. And it shall be practicable, practicable. So two aspects in Stenhouse definition. The educational proposal, curriculum should be a flexible one, should not be the final end product. It shall be modified accordingly by the consumers of the curriculum, users of the curriculum, and that principles and features shall be capable of transaction or translation and shall be practicalized in the real life. So that's why it can be termed as a neutral definition. So in 1987, Grundy, the definition is curriculum is not simply a set of plans to be implemented, but rather is constituted through an active process in which planning, acting and evaluating are all reciprocally related and integrated into the process. So he is a proponent of process approach to curriculum, and it is clearly stated curriculum is not simply a set of plans. So it's not a planned activity. There is no meaning in making some plans and ask learners to move according to the plan, but constituted through an active process in which planning, acting and evaluating. So these three are actions, process. Plan is a final product. Planning is an active element. We are involving to make a plan, that is planning. So we are making a plan and we are trying out the plan, that is acting, as well as evaluating. Evaluating it for continuous modification, revision. And all these are mutually influenced, intertwined. So all these are integrated processes within the curriculum, and it is not a final set of plans according to Grundy. And at its center is praxis, means informed, committed action. So praxis is the center of his theory, and it is informed and committed action. The committed action means action with adequate involvement. The involvement of the recipients, learners, the other stakeholders. It is not a mere activity for the sake of an activity, but it is an involved activity. That is why committed. And at the same time informed. Informed about, well aware about, awareness about what we are going to do and why we are choosing this particular activity or why we are including the specific topic. So that's meant by informed, well aware of. And there shall be a piece of involvement in action. Then only it shall be termed as committed. Then John Wills and Joseph Bondi in 1989. Curriculum is a goal or set of values which are activated through a development process culminating in classroom experiences for students. So in the case of students, curriculum is a goal or set of values which shall be developed or finalized in classroom experiences. The degree to which those experiences are a true representation of the envisioned goal or goals is a direct function of the effectiveness of the curriculum development efforts. So the success of a curriculum depends on the degree to which those experiences are true representation of the vision. There shall be some goals or vision for any curriculum, and how far this experiences provided in the curriculum matches with the vision, then only we can say it has a successful one. That's the definition given by Wills and Bondi. Then Kelly 1999, curriculum is negatively viewed as a syllabus which may limit the planning of teachers to a consideration of the content of body of knowledge they wish to transmit or a list of subjects to be taught or both. So Kelly mentioned what is not a curriculum. So there is in the initial part of this presentation we see that curriculum is perceived as syllabus or a textbook or a content, etc. So many of the time curriculum is negatively viewed as. Curriculum is something comprehensive and broad. Syllabus is only one aspect of curriculum. So that's what Kelly mentioned, and he identified three kinds of the nature of curriculum. Three kinds of nature of curriculum such as planned curriculum, received curriculum and hidden curriculum. So a curriculum shall include three phases or three aspects such as planned curriculum. There will be a planned curriculum. We will prepare one curriculum and this is our plan in the terms of Stenhouse. This is our proposal. And what actually we receive when this curriculum reaches to various institutions and classrooms, what the institution and teacher on what ways, what are the strategies through which they plan to translate it. So that's the received curriculum, what the learners actually received, whether it is the actual that of the planned one or some deviations are there. And there shall be a hidden part for any curriculum. And whatever be the planned curriculum, there shall be some hidden elements based on the vision of the institution as well as the teacher. So planned curriculum means what is laid down in the syllabus. Received curriculum refers to the reality of students. Hidden curriculum is knowledge, that implicit knowledge students learn in school. What actually we learn in school is something different from the planned curriculum. So these are the three phases of curriculum according to Kelly. So that's a brief discussion on meaning and famous definitions of curriculum. So thanks for watching the presentation. Thank you all.